Well, the Eagles have been linked to newly released All-Pro linebacker Shaq Leonard, according to multiple reports, but would signing the linebacker actually make sense? Nick Sirianni, he's getting criticized on Twitter for his antics after the Eagles' big win against Kansas City, and Kevin Byard, he thinks the Eagles secondary is ready to dominate. I'm Thomas Mott, this is the Thomas Mott Show. Well, just 2 days after the Eagles' big comeback win against the Chiefs on Monday Night Football, I think we all can relate with Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni as he walked off the field. Sirianni's post-game antics, they might draw a lot of criticism from Twitter, but it's exactly why we in Philadelphia love him, because you guys absolutely hate him. People in Philadelphia, like myself, think he's just one of the best coaches we've ever had. Plus, his ability to connect with the Eagles players is very obvious, especially when you watch things like this, his post-game speech from Monday night.
Hey, guys, that was gritty. That was grimy. It ain't about who's the toughest. It's about who's the toughest the longest. All right, that's us. All right? Defense, second half. Great job.
That's how you play, man. No shot for that.
That's a championship defense right there. Way to go. Way to go. Hey, and the best thing about this win, we did that together. Yes, sir. It took everybody. It took all 60 minutes.
All in all, Sirianni's just the sixth NFL head coach to lead his team to a 9-1 start or better in back-to-back seasons since the merger in 1970. The other guys are like Tony Dungy, Mike Shanahan, Mark Levy, and Don Shula. Oh, and each of those teams went on to win the Super Bowl except the Buffalo Bills. Now, Twitter definitely gets upset when Sirianni parades around the sideline after a big win. When you're 34-14 all-time as a head coach and back atop the NFC in back-to-back seasons, I say keep being cocky and confident, Coach Sirianni. We all have your back, including Darius Slay, who definitely has struggled at times, but he's still got that cocky swagger after a big win. Now, I might be traveling home for Thanksgiving here in a randomized studio, but it's worth noting, do you guys think Nick Sirianni is one of the best Eagle coaches of all time? I know it's still early, but where do you rank him alongside Dougie P and, of course, Big Red Andy Reid? Let me know down below right now. Now, speaking of favorites, Colts fan favorite linebacker Shaq Leonard, formerly Darius Leonard, he was waived by the Indianapolis Colts yesterday in a shocking move that has a lot of linebacker-needy teams eager for a shot at the former All-Pro. Here's the deal, though. By the time you watch this, he might have gone unclaimed from waivers because he officially goes to the waiver wire first and has until 4 p.m. Eastern time to be claimed by a team, or he becomes an unrestricted free agent. Now, with Philadelphia being 32nd in the waiver order due to them winning a little bit too much, there's a 0% chance the Birds are going to first claim the linebacker. But here's the kicker. The Colts signed Leonard to a massive 5-year, $98 million contract back in 2021, and now, as Albert Breer pointed out, they're going to owe Shaq Leonard $6.2 million the rest of the year, almost $1 million per week. So obviously no one's going to claim that contract. So once he clears waivers, anyone can sign him for the minimum, allowing Leonard to make a pure football decision. And if Leonard does want to go ahead and ring chase, there's really two easy criteria. One, your team has to have a needed linebacker, and two, you have to be good enough to be able to get him a ring potentially this season. And currently, there are just 3 teams that really meet that criteria. 1, the Buffalo Bills. 2, the Dallas Cowboys, and of course 3, yes, that's why we're talking about him right now, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, you do need to keep an eye out for Dallas. It was noted that Darius Leonard thought the Cowboys loved him during his pre-draft process, and they did just lose Leighton Vander Esch, and I guess technically, they are Super Bowl contenders. But Philadelphia, they also lost Nakobe Dean, and very clearly were actively trying to sign Anthony Barr last week before the Minnesota Vikings came in and swooped in. So the Eagles might not only try to get the linebacker because they need a linebacker, they might try to get him to keep him away from their NFC East division rivals, the Dallas Cowboys. But if we're being honest, Shaq Leonard has some connections to Philadelphia. It's got to be Nick Sirianni, who was the Colts offensive coordinator for the same 3 seasons that Shaq Leonard was absolutely dominating with Indianapolis. Shaq also came to Sirianni's defense after the head coach's first press conference in Philadelphia. Remember this?
The first part of that, the first part of being smart is knowing what to do. We're gonna have systems in place that are easier to learn. All right, complicated to the defense or offense that they're going against or the special teams group they're going against, but easy for us to learn. Because when we can put that, when we can learn our system and we can get good at our system, then our talent can take over.
Looking back on that, remember how experts told us that press conference was the worst thing we've ever seen and it meant Nick Sirianni was way over his head and was never going to be a good head coach? Yeah, I remember that one too. Well, Leonard was actually one of the few players on Twitter who went to Sirianni's defense right after, saying, quote, "It's funny that people are trying to clown him, man. Everyone isn't a great media person or talking in front of people. He's a good coach, and I can't wait to see that team go to work. People always got something to say outside looking in. I bet if the camera on them, they'll fold." Clearly, there is a need at linebacker, and how about a linebacker who's familiar with the Eagles head coach and also looking for a team ready to win? it makes a ton of sense. Let me know what you guys think about the possibility of signing Leonard down below. Now, before you just blatantly go out there and say, oh, we got to sign Shaq Leonard, this is an absolute no-brainer, you got to remember which Shaq Leonard you're actually getting. No longer is he one of the best linebackers in the National Football League as he was his first 3 seasons. Look back at 2022, injury struck Leonard when he underwent back surgery in the offseason to correct a nagging injury. He missed the opening of the 2022 season, suffered a concussion, had a broken nose, and eventually re-injured that back, forcing him to miss the end of the season. And since those injuries happened, after 2021, Shaq Leonard's PFF run-stopping grade and pass coverage grades had absolutely plummeted. Even though the Colts had him on a massive contract, they cut his playing time dramatically, even choosing to play undrafted free agent linebackers over Leonard after their starting linebacker suffered an injury earlier this season. And while a change of scenery might make a lot of sense, maybe he's 100% healthy, who knows, we have to be clear, you're not getting 2021 All-Pro Shaq Leonard, you're getting 2023 often injured and can't get on the football field Shaq Leonard. I would see this more as like a depth signing, similar to what they did with Julio Jones. Get him on the football field in certain situations, but you're not going to immediately take away time from Nicholas Morrow and Zach Cunningham, who have been really good the past couple of weeks, especially since Nakobe Dean went out with that injury. All in all, I like the idea of Shaq Leonard. I think he makes a ton of sense for Philadelphia, and I do expect Philadelphia to pursue him at either the waiver claim today or potentially in a free agent situation. Now, we don't know what Shaq Leonard is looking for. You would assume a contender, and you would assume a team that can help him win right now, but if he wants to go try to get another big contract, then he could sign with any team in the National Football League who's willing to pay or overpay for the All-Pro, meaning Philadelphia could be out of the running. But if he wants to sign a veteran minimum team-friendly deal and go for a chance to not only win a ring, but also a chance to actually get playing time, it's not like the Eagles have some superstars at linebacker in Cunningham and Morrow, although, like I said, they have played well. I think coming to Philadelphia makes a lot of sense for the former All-Pro. Someone who made a ton of sense for Philadelphia when they traded for him at the deadline was safety Kevin Byard, who, let's be honest, had his best game as an Eagle against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, look at this one targeted. 7 of 11, 46 yards, touchdown, interception, a 60 passer rating, 2 pass breakups, and 11 yards after the catch. And Byard definitely thinks the Eagles secondary has found something after the game, saying, quote, my first 2 games here, as far as a secondary, we didn't play our best ball. I think coming into this game and the way the game kind of went, I think it's the belief and the resiliency of this team where we say, hey, no matter what type of adversity we face with it, we're going to fight through it. For the defense to get a shutout in the second half and the offense coming on late, that's the definition of a team victory. And I'll call myself out. I was very critical of Kevin Byard the first couple of weeks in Philadelphia. He didn't look that good. And I said, maybe you just didn't get a good player at the NFL trade deadline. And while it's just one game and there's still plenty of time left, if we get the Kevin Byard we saw on Monday Night Football, I will continue to sing his praises and call myself out as wrong every single day because he not only adds a dynamic, really smart player in the backfield alongside, who's been very good, the Ghost and Reed Blankenship, he gives Philadelphia a chance to be a much improved secondary, and you saw that in the second half where they pitched a perfect shutout of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I know it's Thanksgiving week right now, but Philadelphia will have their first practice back today, getting ready for their matchup with the Bills on Sunday afternoon. We'll have full coverage of that, continued videos throughout the week, so be sure to go ahead and subscribe. But just a friendly reminder, it's also Kelly Green Jersey Day, the only other one remaining on the Eagles' schedule, happening Sunday afternoon at home against Buffalo. And the Eagles also dropped these fresh new Kelly Green jackets in anticipation of their final time wearing the Kelly Green. Hence why I'm wearing the Kelly Green here today. And so the jackets look pretty cool, but the Kelly Green on the field is going to look even better. I cannot wait for that. And I can't wait to dive into this Buffalo Bills matchup because the Bills, they fired their offensive coordinator. Seems like they're playing better football, but it's still a very opportunistic matchup for the Eagles. They match up extremely well, especially offensively against that banged-up Bills defense. I can't wait to break that one down, and I can't wait to see if Philadelphia can really dominate and go, 3-0 to start this gauntlet stretch of games that everyone was super worried about in Philadelphia. There's a chance that they could keep on winning, and if they do, that number 1 seed in the NFC looks a lot easier to come by than we thought it would be at the beginning of this stretch. Again, I'm traveling on the road here for Thanksgiving at my parents' house in Texas, trying to have some off time as well, but we're still going to get you guys as many videos as possible, so make sure you guys go ahead and go down below and subscribe, and stay tuned as we keep you up to date on everything happening with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.